It's Tuesday, May 5th, and that means it's Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. I've posted a bunch of different activities, and one that I wanted to walk you through step by step is a type of Mexican folk art that is on metal, usually. It's called repajado, and that is like a raised or embossed piece of metal that has a raised design in it. So I'm going to take you through the materials that you need, very simple things that you should have at home, and we're hopefully going to make one together. So there are examples that I've included in the other instructions with this. Again, my printer is still not working, so go look at those and then we'll take you through this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you around and we're going to look at our materials. Okay, so here we go. You're going to need either paper towel, I think kind of works really well. You don't have to waste it because you can reuse it, or you can also use newspaper. You will need a paper plate. Any kind of paper plate will do. I used one that has these little ridges on it because I think it'll be a cool part of the design. You're going to need aluminum foil. Now, some aluminum foil is thicker than others or heavier than others. I happen to have one that says heavy duty, so I think I'm going to use that. You're going to need the back end of a paintbrush or some type of a blunt end like that, and then you're going to need Sharpies or permanent markers. Okay, so I'm going to turn you back around. Here we go, and then I'm going to turn you down to my workspace. Hopefully it won't fall. Let's see, we'll do it this way. Okay, I think you guys can see. Let me do it a little bit more up. Okay, sorry, we're still kind of winging this. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you are going to get your foil, remember, and you want to make it big enough that it will go all the way around your plate. So if your plate is this size, I'm going to make sure my foil is bigger than the plate because I'm going to be wrapping it around the back. Okay? So then I'm going to kind of turn the plate over, and on the shiny side, I'm just going to kind of take with my finger and draw a circle so I can see how big that circle and my design is going to be around this plate. And I'm just using my fingernail here. And you can kind of see how it made a little bit of a circle. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your paper towel or your newspaper and you're going to put it underneath that circle part. Okay. I may actually add another layer with my newspaper underneath. So I'm going to do that just like that. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to make a design. It might be easier if you just draw it very, very simply and lightly, because this is going to be the back side. You're not going to see this part. So I'm just going to make a sun kind of like the example. I'm going to do this very simple. So I can see where I am working when I turn it over. Hopefully that's still in the picture. Okay, and I'll turn this around so it can be right side up when I get done with this part. Kind of looks like a shark's fin as I'm doing this. And one more. I'm going to have a smile. And let's see. I think I'm going to leave it at that for right now. Okay, so this is going to be my design. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that blunt object and I am going to very carefully push down on my foil and kind of make it lower than the rest of the foil. If your foil is thinner, you kind of have to be careful so this doesn't rip. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing around the mouth You see, it can't be a sharp tool because it definitely will pop through then and break the foil. So I'm going to go through all of these again, and it doesn't have to be exact. I'm just going to do this pretty quick here. And so what we're doing is called embossing. Embossing is the process of having a design that is raised from the background or the rest of this design. Now I'm going to turn this over. And you can kind of see, let's see, I've got a little bit of a glare, but you can kind of see my design on there. Now I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to go the opposite way. And what this is doing then is it's going to help to smooth out, and I found that if you do this 3 times, it helps it to pop out more. I don't know what it does to the foil, but it just seems to work better that way. So I'm going to do all of these, and then I'm going to turn it over one more time, because this dull side is going to be the front of your design. Not the shiny side, but the dull side that we're going on right now. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over one more time. And of course you can see the design that I had in Sharpie, but we're going to do this one more time. We're going to push down nice and hard, and it's kind of actually smoothing it out. Ooh, I'm getting a little thin. You'll be able to tell when your foil feels like it's going to maybe rip. I can definitely tell when it starts to go through. So just ease up on the pressure. And the whole idea now of doing this is making sure it stands out, pops up, is 3-dimensional. We could use the word 3-dimensional off of the page because it pops up. And it is raised from the rest of the design. So I'm doing this very quickly. I'm doing it really, really simple. You can do a more detailed one. That's up to you. So I'm going to turn this over one more time. And now you can kind of see how it's a little bit raised. I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to actually use my finger and my fingernail, and I'm going to go around those edges and push the inside part of the edges down and parts around my design so they stand up a little bit more. It's not a lot of embossing or raised part that you're doing, but you will be able to see it on the one that you're working on. I know there's a little bit of a glare on this, so let me turn this around, and you can kind of see maybe a little bit. See how that's all raised up, okay? So now we're gonna get our plate, and I'm gonna put my plate underneath, and I'm gonna try and line it up with my circle. And I'm going to flip it over. Oh, I can see it much better on the back side anyway. And I'm just going to fold these edges over like this. Okay. And then I'm going to flip my plate over and very carefully start pushing down my foil and smoothing it out, except for my little designs that are supposed to stay raised. Okay, now this is just like super simple. Let's see if I can get this. Hang on. Okay, so now we get our permanent markers, and we're gonna start coloring our design. And you can color it however you want. I think I'm gonna color it actually around on the outside of my design so it stays popping up. So I'm just going to kind of trace here around my design. It's off a little bit. That's okay. I really like using foil and Sharpies. The Sharpies really show up pretty cool on the foil. I know we've done some projects in the past, some of you, where we use foil and Sharpies on them, so that's always kind of a neat thing to do. I'm going to get some other colors here, and now I'm going to add to this, and I'm going to start adding some designs on the inside that are not raised, but just in color. I'll go around my eye. I'll turn it upside down, and I'll go around the mouth. And remember, all of these things are still raised. So I'm going to get a different Sharpie, and I'm going to color inside the mouth. Now, I'm not using the tip of the Sharpie, I'm actually using the side of the Sharpie. And just like markers, when you use the side of the Sharpie, you get a much thicker line, and so it fills it in and colors it in much quicker than if you were using the tip. Okay, so there's that, fill in my little spaces. I'm going to add that. Oh, I forgot the nose. Oh no. So let's get a different color for the nose. Let's see, I got to do it this way so I can see. And eyebrows. There we go. And now you can kind of start to see the difference between the areas that are raised and the areas that are flat. So I like using lots of different colors. So I'm going to start, well, that one doesn't show up, so we won't use that one. How about a teal? I like teal. So I'm going to start adding to my design on the inside here, on the flat part, and keep going around. You can color these in if you want to, and you can do any kind of design. You do not have to do a face. You can do whatever you want. If you see those examples, some of those examples are animals, different kinds of things. And I think I'm going to color these in too, because I like the extra color. And actually, I kind of like, this is going to sound weird, but I kind of like how it feels when I'm coloring on the foil. It's kind of a neat feeling with my Sharpie. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep going all the way around the circle. And when you're doing things like this, I want you to keep in mind all of the different kinds of lines and things that you learned since you were in kindergarten, lines and patterns and shapes. We've got zigzag lines and wavy lines and bumpy lines and dotted lines. All kinds of lines, loopy lines or curly lines. Whoops, messed up there. All kinds that we have, curved lines, straight lines, horizontal, vertical, diagonal, all of those lines that we learned. You can use those and add those to your design and use them in your design on here as well. So I'm kind of liking how that's coming out. You can still see that part of it is raised. I think I'm going to add one more part to it and get more orange in here. I'm going to start to add some circles on the tops of all of these little triangles around the face. Really like this color. So I'm going to keep going, and then I think we're pretty close to being done. I know there's a little bit of a glare, but if I kind of move it, you can see the different parts of it and see how it is raised. So let me look at one more thing. I think that is going to do it for today. So happy Cinco de Mayo. I've also put different things. Oops, I'm going to move you around and back up. I've also listed some different things that you could have for your Cinco de Mayo celebration. It might just be guacamole and chips or queso, or you might make fajitas or enchiladas today. It's up to you. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you do something for Cinco de Mayo. Make some of the paper banners that are just like cutting out snowflakes. They're super easy to do. If you have some tissue paper, you can even use regular construction paper. So I hope you have a great Tuesday, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.